What's the saying? You don't get a second chance to make a first impression.
Welcome back to Lend2List. This is Stephen Trevor. I'm here today with Brian Yoder from Realty One Old Town Group. Thanks for showing up, man.
Appreciate you having me, man. Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, let's see here. I moved to Winchester in 2009, so I was planning on being here for a couple years, and here it is, 2024. Just fell in love with the area, so
Lot to love here.
yeah, man, it's great. Lot to do, a lot of outdoor stuff, all that.
I know from our previous conversations you like to do a lot of hiking.
Love it. It's nothing better. Clears the mind, soothes the soul.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely some good overlooks around here as well.
Definitely. Yep.
Well, hey, I brought you down today. I was hoping maybe we could talk some real estate and ask you a few questions.
Yeah, let's go.
So this is coming more from the selling side, but what role do you believe landscaping and curb appeal play in selling a home, and what are your top suggestions, in this area?
What's the saying? You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. So
That's very true.
You think about driving down the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're driving down the road, you're zoned out. All of a sudden, that one house, perfectly green grass and landscaping and shrubs and trees and everything just looks incredible. You're elated. Like, it makes you feel good. So, anytime you can pull up to a property and that's your initial reaction, huge, because it sets the tone for everything else that's going to happen on the inside. Where, you pull up and house is not looking good, shrubs aren't taken care of, landscaping doesn't look real good, grass isn't taken care of, you're deflated.
Yeah.
So no matter what you see on the inside, you just have that negative feeling, that first feeling in the back of your mind. So
It's hard to break a first impression.
it's hard.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, you can go through and a house can be beautiful on the inside, but you just wonder how much of that was done where, just to make it look good. What issues are you going to have on the back end where somebody takes care of the outside, they're taking care of the inside and taking care of the house in general. So
For sure.
in that regard, it's pretty important.
So kind of staying on the same subject, let's talk about some unique features, right? Some houses will have things that other houses won't. I mean, we can even talk about a pool, but how do you address some of those unique features when it comes to selling a property?
Well, first of all, everyone's different.
Yeah.
So as an agent, I've got to take my opinion out of it, really. Like, if somebody's concerned, we just talk about it, communicate. Let me hear your concerns. Let's talk about a positive that it could possibly be turned into. It's essentially a negative situation that you need to try to find a way to make it make sense. And most people, as long as you're creative enough, or if they want to be creative enough, they can figure out ways to address it. Now, one thing that, from Ryan Holmes, like I worked with them for a number of years. One of my production managers one time pointed out that there are, these builders or these contractors, they have a vision for everything. Mm-hmm. So if there's everything else in the house fits, but, the one room, just doesn't fit what they're looking for. And like, it's a deal breaker. Well, hold on, let's rewind a little bit. Let's talk about what could be done. Knock a wall out, expand a room, add a bathroom. Like, I just had a listing down on Braddock Street, for example, that needed some work. It needed a lot of work. Well, I don't have the eye for that. I can go through and say, like, here's what we could do. But we got a contractor in there, somebody who flips homes. And to hear what he was saying, like, oh, we're going to pull this wall out, we're going to put a bathroom here. Builders, contractors, they can do it all. So one little thing doesn't kill the dream. So
yeah, and listening to some of the advice of the other professionals around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's 100%. Like, always delegate. So there's people there's a solution to everything. So, homes were built from the ground up.
Yeah,
you can take a piece apart and put it right back together in the way you want it to be done. So, a pool is a different story. You're not getting rid of the pool.
No, you're not getting rid of the pool. I mean, I guess theoretically you could, but
yeah.
That seems a little bit more work.
Yeah. So that's just have an open mind. I mean, that's there's a solution to everything for sure.
So what are some common turnoffs you would see, that the buyers might have that sellers should be aware of?
What I think about a lot actually with that, and again, this goes back to my days where as a sales rep, my responsibility was to know my competition. My competition was the new builders. My competition were the resale homes. I think from a buyer's perspective, it would be so nice to have sellers actually be aware of what they're up against. Whether, they're basing a price on what? Like if somebody has that question, we have a responsibility to address, to other agents where we got our comps from.
Of course.
Like how do we decide like this is the value on the home? I think it's incredibly important for sellers to be aware of what else is out there. I also think it's incredibly important as a seller. You're buying a new home. You have your ideas of what you want. And when you go in, whether, again, a new build, existing home, whatever, you want it to look good. You want it to be in tip-top condition. You're going to go through, you're going to point out every scratch, every ding, every dent. I know we all try to save money, but when you're selling, you got to make sure that you're being fair to the people that want to buy. Like,
Of course.
don't ignore these things. Like, know your competition and, be respectful. Like, do unto others, treat people the way you want to be treated. That's my thoughts on that.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Well, hey, we didn't have a whole lot of time today, but I appreciate you coming down.
Absolutely, man. Anytime.
Yeah, that's good to hear. We'll definitely have you on again. Are there any other final thoughts you kind of want to talk about with this subject we've been on today?
Not really. Just trust the people around you. Agents, I always point out, one of the greatest things making the transition from new sales into an actual independent agent, you're able to establish a team. The agent's not the only one doing the job. You have lenders, you have contractors, you have inspectors, you have title people, you have a whole network of people at your disposal. So that's all. Just remember that.
Well, it takes a team just for one transaction.
It takes a village.
It takes a village.
Takes a village.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, hey, thank you very much again
Appreciate
for coming
you.
down
Absolutely.
today.
Yes, sir.
And again, if you guys are in the market to buy or sell a home, feel free to reach out to Brian. His information's right on the screen. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thanks.